What's up guys, and welcome back to a new video about math objects in JavaScript. So let's say that you want to do some kind of math calculation that is a little bit more difficult than addition, subtraction and division. For this you could use the math objects that JavaScript provides for us. The math object has a lot of mathematical constants and functions that we could use. So what I want to do is to create a variable. So let's create a let val and let's set it equal to undefined. And what I want to do is to set val equal to a math function, which starts with capital M of math, punctuation mark, and after the punctuation mark, we could add a couple of different arguments, and you can already see them on my screen. We have max, floor, min, round, and random. And there are a couple others, which you can see right below of this. But what I want to do right now is to write down the p. This is the ratio of a circle's circumferences to its diameter. So let's add a semicolon, and that's console.log val. Save it, and you can see the output is pretty long. What I want to show you right now is how you could specify a round number. So let's say that we have a decimal number, 2.4 or 2.5 or whatsoever. With the ceil and floor function that we can use, we can round the number either up or down. So let's set val equal to math, punctuation mark, ceil. Inside the parentheses, we could add a parameter. In our case, let's say 2.4. Let's save it. And you can see that the number will be passed as a parameter to its nearest integer upwards. So 2.4 will go to 3. And even 2.1 will be rounding up to 3, because it will always go to the roundest number up. Obviously, there is also a way how we could round a number down, and that's by saying val is equal to math, punctuation mark floor, and let's say 2.8, save it, and you can see that the number has been rounded to 2, and even if we say 2.1, the number is still 2. If we could round the number upwards or downwards, we could round a number based on the decimal point. So let me add a comment. We can round a number, and that's by saying val is equal to math, punctuation mark, round, parentheses, semicolon. And let's add a number right here of 2.3, which will be rounded to 2. But if we change it to 2.8, the number will be rounded to 3. We could also calculate the square root. So let me add a comment again, the square, which is pretty much done in the same way as the others. So let's say val equal to math, punctuation mark, sqrt, which stands for square root. And we need to pass in a number where we want to know the root from. If we say 64, the root will be 8, because 8 multiplied by 8 is 64. We could calculate the absolute value of a number. So let's say absolute value. And let's say val equal to math.abs, which stands for absolute. And if we pass in a -3, you can see that the output is the opposite, so +3. We can calculate the power of a number. So let's set the power of a number by basically setting val equal to math, punctuation mark, pow, of power. And be aware that this takes 2 parameters instead of 1. The first parameter is the base, so that's basically the number which is to be raised. So in our case, let's say 8, comma, space, and you can already see the exponent value of the expression needs to be added right now. So let's say 2, let's save it, and 8 to the power of 2 is 64. And the last function that I want to show you is the minimum and maximum of a range numbers. And let's set min and max, and let's set val equal to math, punctuation mark, min. And inside the parentheses, we could add as much parameters as we want. So let's say 2, 33, 44, 55, 66. If we save it, you can see that the minimum is 2 because it's the smallest number. But we could also add negative numbers right there. So after the 66, let's add a comma, space, -4. Save it. And now you can see that the lowest number is -4. And the same thing can be done for the maximum. So let's create a val and let's set it equal to math.max. Now let's add a couple numbers. Well, we could pretty much add the same as above. And we could also add a -4 because in our case right now it doesn't matter. Let's save it. And the maximum number is 66. This was it for the video about math objects. I hope that I gave you a good overview of what it actually is. If you do enjoy my content and you want to see more, leave this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button.